right? And I'm not feeling great today, so I might lose my voice, or I might end into going into a bad cough. I'll try to stay the whole hour, but we got two other people in the audience who could carry on. So if this is your first time, welcome to our weekly show, talking about skilled up life, global talent, and how you could also build your tech companies using our talent base. Skilled Up Life is a two-sided marketplace. On one side, anyone over 18 years can sign up and gain experience, but they can't earn through us. So we separate the short-term financial compensation from the medium and long-term benefit of gaining the experience you really, really want to get your career path in shape, or just to go and get a job afterwards. So we do not provide education, we do not provide jobs. We sit between those two, and we are focusing 100% on provision of experience. On the other side of the two-sided marketplace is early stage tech companies. We only cater for technology companies, and we don't work with service providers. And they can subscribe to based on their size of the company. Our subscriptions start from something like £30 a month, but once you subscribe, you can have unlimited talent. And our talent is not the same as employees, contractors, freelancers, interns that you might see elsewhere. Our talent is here to be part of your organization for 3 months. And then they want to be part of your organization. They are happy to give their time free. In exchange, they're trying to get more experience. So we have youngsters from 18 year onwards who may not had any previous experience, to those in 30s, 40s who have a job, but they're thinking about career transition, and to older folks or middle-aged folks like myself. I'll be 55 this year, who might be just interested in helping a startup. So they're not really to gain more experience. They might be just want to help somebody else build a business and become an employer of tomorrow. So that's what Skilled Up Life is, and we now have about 26,400 people. We are adding well over 100 people every day. Once upon a time, this was adding 100 people was a really big effort. It took us 176 days to sign up our first 100 skilled up lifers. But today, we are signing up 100 in a day quite easily. And I think, going forward, we see our market as, there's about 8 billion people in the world, and we are going after a couple of billion. I think that's where we see ourselves in few years, well, maybe in a decade. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We are here for the long run. So we are really, it's all about talent, and it's all about building tech companies. So let's get the introduction underway. We got Mithun, Chidima, and Irene. Mithun, would you mind introducing yourself and talk about what area you're working on, please?
Thank you, Manoj. So my name is Mithun, and I'm the head of user acquisition. Like Manoj just basically mentioned, we are now acquiring over 100 users every day, and we went past 26,000 total volunteers. So my job is to basically acquire those users to Skilled Up Life. So my team, we have several team members who are working on LinkedIn. We're also posting on Indeed.com. We also have a marketing team that is headed by Godwin. He's also the head of African operations. So we have this all these teams that are very instrumental in bringing us users to join Skilled Up Life. So we think it's the same for you guys. For when tech companies join Skilled Up Life, just like us, you can start building teams. You can assemble teams from different countries. For instance, I have a lot of team members from Indonesia and Philippines, and there's lots of Nigerians, South Africans. Irene here is from South Africa, and Chidinma is from. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken. I believe you're from Nigeria, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. or can. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make is we have so many different people from various countries that can bring a lot of value to your tech company. So as the head of user acquisition, our target for this year is to get to 100,000 users by July. So last year the target was 10,000. So we're trying to do a lot of new things to get there. We are trying to build partnerships. Recently we built the partnership team we have a partnership with educational provider called Utiva. So we're trying to build all these managers for partnerships, and we're trying to bring in all those students who build a lot of knowledge. It could be in coding, it could be in data science, it could be in marketing. So all these students who have a lot of skill. So what they need is an environment that they can use that skills, use those coding skills or that the web development skills. So they need a platform to do that. So that's what SkilledUp Life does, and it also allows the tech companies, you who might join SkilledUp Life, it allows you to help those volunteers gain experience, while you can also build teams and you can work on projects and accomplish all these goals for your tech company, and you can really try to grow your tech company by using the talent of SkilledUp Life. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you so much, Mithun. So we are in our third year now, and when we started, really, we didn't have much of an idea, but today we are coming to the conclusion that a SkilledUp Life is not about just adding one or two people to your team. It's about actually building teams. I'll explain what this means. So once you subscribe, you could have as many people as you wish to on board. We ourselves is around 100 people now. Out of those 100, we have 5 salaried staff, and the rest are all SkilledUp lifers, plus me, of course. And what we have done ourselves, we are in fact we are the best customer of our own service. So we have built functional teams. So as we discussed, Mithun heads user acquisition team, working closely with Godwin, who's not here today. Godwin is head of Africa, and also Chidinma, who's our head of support. And Irene at the moment is doing her second term with us. So we have built a very functioning user acquisition team, HR team, support team, and marketing team. And I'm in the process of now building a product team for ourselves and also a sales team. So and if you're building a company, you could look at us as you could typically adopt 2 strategies. If you already have number of people in your team, whether they are paid or unpaid, or they are part-time or employees or shareholders, it doesn't really matter. You could have a strategy where you bring on people, SkilledUp lifers from us, and add them around each of your team players. That's one strategy. The other strategy is, and you could look at saying, okay, I'm building a technology company. I got to build my product. I got to market it. I got to sell it. I got to operate and support it. And I got to build my team. So maybe just like what SkilledUp Life is doing, I could also start building teams, right? So when you start building teams, what sometimes, this is unheard of for very early stage tech companies, because they simply don't have the capacity to do this. And this is typically for, let's say, Series A plus type tech companies, where they have enough cash and they could organize their, they can do a proper organizational design and try to recruit people into those teams. But what we are making is that most of our companies' customers are not funded. They're very early stage, and what we are doing is we are making that type of environment possible for you at that early stage. So that's what we are doing. So I'll talk a little bit later on about how we are doing it. So let's start with Chidinma. Chidinma, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell the audience about your story, and yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Manoj. Hi, everyone. My name is Chidimamba from Nigeria. I'm the head of the support team. I joined SkilledUp Life last year, July last year, as a volunteer. And after my volunteering term ended, I was given a job, to work with SkilledUp Life. It has been a great journey and a wonderful one for me. And what we do in support is we provide assistance to the teeming number of people that visit the website. That is the volunteers as well as the customers, that's the companies that use our services. So we make their, we help them to navigate the website and to access our service. So what we do is to ensure that there's a kind of that they're able to find their way around. And for the tech startups, some, for the fact that they are starting out, need some assistance, even in the recruitment process. So what we do in support is, to ensure that they are able to, get through the process, successfully, provide them assistance wherever they need the assistance. And we also help our volunteers, we help them to, create professional profiles, that would attract, the right opportunities, and also help them to apply to a suiting role, a befitting role, that aligns with their aspiration. So in SkilledUp Life, as I always like to say, is a win-win situation for everybody, both the tech startups and the volunteers, because the volunteers on their path will be gaining experience by volunteering with our customers, and our customers, on the other hand, will be building a great team, for professionals with just a token, simply by subscribing to our service. Thank you.
Thank you, Chidinma. Irene, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so would you mind introducing yourself and talk about yourself, obviously?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Irene Namtebi. I am based in Cape Town, South Africa. I joined SkilledUp Life in November of last year as a support volunteer. So Chidima was my team lead at the time. And so when my volunteering term came to an end, I decided to switch to human resources. So I work in the HR team. And we basically help each other to grow the team base within SkilledUp Life. And also, I've recently been given the task of being country HR lead, where I am trying to build a remote volunteer team in South Africa. Right now, we've got a few people in talent acquisition. We've got a PR volunteer, officer volunteer, as well as quite a few other individuals. So yes, that's nice and short and sweet.
Thank you so much, Irene. So one of the things we are doing is looking at how can we grow ourselves. And right now, our talent pool comes from 111 countries. And there are a lot more countries around the world than 111, so that we still got a lot of work to do. A lot of countries have not even heard of us yet, but in terms of to support our customers who ranges from USA, Canada to Australia, we sometimes they prefer to have teammates who are in the same time zone as them. So we now, after a while, we started to build a team in South America. We have individuals coming from Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, and elsewhere. And we also have our within our own team, we have a great, very young software developer who just joined my team, and I'm working directly with her to build a little tool we call Leaderboard, which is not really something that's linked to SkilledUp Life, but it's an idea I had, and so she's involved in building that. So I mean that itself is a good example. So if you're building a tech company and you have these type of projects in mind, and you don't have time to or you don't have a budget to find paid talent, we could be a good place for you. So we have a very strong presence in Africa now. We seem to be quite established in Nigeria, thanks to Godwin and Chidinma and others in our team. Our From the 100 people we have, the most of them really, quite a large number of them come from Nigeria, and we have a good presence in Kenya, and thanks to Irene, growing presence in South Africa. In addition to that, we are looking at Ghana and a few other countries in Africa. And what we are looking at is eventually we want to build something like a 5 team members in each country or each region. So one would focus on, let's say, user acquisition, another would be focusing on marketing, another would be focusing on sales, another would be on support if there are any specific support needed from that country, so that they have a country understanding of the geography. And then also vitally important, just like what Irene is doing, HR professional in that country. So the HR professional is typically responsible for building that team. And then sometimes if they have enough experience with us, then they can actually take the leadership role as well. And Irene, in addition to Irene helping me with building the team in South Africa, she's actually helping me build the sales team. So in the past, I didn't quite succeed in building sales team. I never built a sales team before SkilledUp Life. So all our customers are pretty much joined SkilledUp Life through me. So unfortunately, I'm not scalable. So we now have to build a sales team, and Irene is helping me build that team. So we now have about 4 individuals in that team, but we are looking to expand that across the world because we want to target specific regions. So then when we look at Southeast Asia, which Indonesia and Philippines are big places for us, and Mithun's been driving our effort into those regions. We then have India to tackle. We have Middle East that we haven't really done much. We have Europe. We had on and off a few individuals, but we haven't had a major effort. So the world is still big for us. But I think if we continue on our path, then we can start to build regional teams. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that it's not just to boast or anything like that. If you join SkilledUp Life, you could do the same thing. Going global is one thing, selling from your home, but your office or home country. But you could actually have teams in some of those countries, and that's what we facilitate. As long as we work with individuals in the past where, especially when we started at the beginning, we had 2 ladies from Brazil working with us, and I think there was a lot of times where we actually used Google Translate to sort of understand each other, but it worked out quite well for both parties. So sometimes we have language barriers, but I think with the technology that we can quite easily overcome those. Time zones doesn't really matter that much because we are becoming pretty much a 24/7 type company, 24/5 I would say. We still have individuals actually doing stuff during the weekend, but I don't tend to promote that. So that's the type of organization we are, and as I said before, we are our best customers. So one of the things we are doing very actively is sharing what worked for us with our customers. We have a customer dedicated hub with content and Q&A type environment where we are happy to share. So we've done about 20 minutes of talking among ourselves. So if you like to join us, please raise your hand, then I can let you in. Thank you. Anyone wants to join? Joe, I see you there. Right, let's get Joe up. Hi Joe, would you like to introduce yourself and then let's talk, have a chat.
Okay, I knew you were going to bring me in. I was hoping for a nice, quiet listen, but here we go. So I'm Joe Petrie. I have formed a startup before that I crashed maybe about 3 years ago, so during COVID. So this is a second project that I'm quite excited about. It's a project me and my son, believe it or not, and my partner will probably play a significant role in. It's a productivity tool somewhere between Trello and Todoist that performs a particular function that I developed for my own productivity, believe it or not. So I have been a member of Techcelerate on and off probably for 4 or 5 years, I think, maybe 4 years, Manoj.
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
With this project, so with the first project, I made the mistake really of doing almost all of the coding myself. And I plan really to spend my time leading this particular startup endeavor rather than doing the coding. So what I'm particularly interested in from SkilledUp Life is coding support, AWS support. And UX support, and yes, also marketing support. So it'd be good, really, to get people whose expertise lies in particular areas, and therefore get the, I guess, best in class or best practice, rather than to compromise by doing it all in house.
Yeah, so I think you had to join us with the open mind, and we do have both very inexperienced talent as well as those with decent experience. So and one thing I want to say is that SkilledUp Life is not just about the product, even though the stage you are in might be the initial product development. But we are not just for marketing, we are for providing every type of talent you need. We even have lawyers, we even have accountants. And in fact, we prefer if there's more demand for accountants and lawyers, because that's not, those two roles are not something we see quite often on our opportunity list. Yes, so once you join, obviously Joe and I have been chatting. Joe is now part of Techcelerate. Techcelerate is my other company. So this year what we are doing is we are aligning the two. So Techcelerate focus on providing the know-how of how to build a company, and then SkilledUp Life provide the talent pool to execute that. However, Techcelerate is just one partner of SkilledUp Life. We have similar partners from elsewhere, including Founder Institute, who operate across the world, running their cohorts. And then we have another partner, accelerator partner from Sri Lanka called Hatchworks, and we need to sign up a lot more partners across the world. So those partners could provide some level of know-how of how to build a tech company, and then we provide the talent pool to go and execute that. Yes, Joe. I mean, I just signed up. Sorry, we have a young lady in my team, joined from Mexico, called Nora. So she's gonna actually take over code base from a previous SkilledUp Lifer who built it for us over about a year ago. But I never actually had the time then to put my input into it. So the code base has been sitting on in a AWS EC2 microserver for quite some time. So Nora has joined to take a look at that and get that, whatever the problems it has, fix that, and deploy it, and we'll have a leaderboard. So the leaderboard is quite interesting, and I think you were not with Texeret during that latter part of COVID, where Russell, if you remember, Russell grows, and
Yeah.
we used to have every Friday, we used to have a session where we looked at the sales metrics and look at, how are we doing sales. So the leaderboard's idea is somehow sort of give you the opportunity to update your KPIs every week, and from that
Yeah.
it will build a very simple leaderboard. And the idea is that simply being on a leaderboard will sort of encourage you and push you forward. Now, if you are then going and building some sort of productivity tool, you could even align that with then saying, use my productivity tool to get on the top of the leaderboard, right? Um, so it could be quite interesting, and and I'm building that as a side project for us, but it will also be available to Texera companies, etc.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
my background is product marketing. So having action and control metrics, I think is really important in any process, but in particular, growth.
yeah. I mean, one of the things when I'm trying to build my sales team now, and one of the things that and I tried to build it earlier, but I didn't put enough time of and that has caused problems. So some of our team members had companies in our HubSpot that were not our target customers. So we just started looking at, what are the customer personas that we would go after. And there are products out there, and sometimes the customer persona part actually falls under marketing. There's a company called Growth Channel, for example, that gives you a nice custom, way to sort of graphically capture the customer persona using tags, etc. So there's lots of different tools, and I think one thing that I'm sort of quite excited about is that if we end up supporting tech founders who build these type of interesting tools, we could look at in a couple of years' time saying, you're gonna build a new company. Here's a bunch of tools ready made already there, knows how they work. He's a special price. You could go and take that forward. So I think there's a lot of fun we can have within SkilledUp Life, especially not just this interaction between the founders and the talent, but also between among the founders themselves. So yeah, I mean, we are into third year. We don't know what we will look like in 10 years' time, right? So it's a fascinating journey I find myself in. Right? Are there anyone else? Felix, don't be shy. I know you're building a company, and I think you also got your son or daughter involved. Would be nice to hear from you. And John, happy to have a chat. I haven't spoken to you for a long time. Maria, I've seen you around. Please raise your hand and join, and we can have a chat. You are from Argentina. You're not in our team, right? Okay, there you go, Felix. Please introduce yourself, what you're building, and tell us about your team, which I think include your family members. Go ahead, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I've got my own son. He's a CTO. One of the troubles that I have is getting him to have help from other people on board that are not fully qualified. I'm having a job trying to convince him. So what do I do, or how can I encourage him to give somebody else that chance to help?
Okay, I think there are two questions. One is that if you have loads of money, the recommended path is that you should always hire so you can get the best possible talent. But we have 26,000 people, and you can be very selective. So, for example, just Nora joining me, she seemed to have she's very enthusiastic. She's done some sort of courses before. She's had 2 internships before. So she has a good, basic understanding or good understanding of tech stacks, etc. And there are a lot more other people, and we work with Utiwa and Moranga School and a lot of other education providers who are teaching software engineering. And where we are coming in is that we are trying to provide them with more experience. So I think it's a selection process. So what we suggest
Okay.
is that
I
once
wasn't aware that you could select. I just thought you were just. I wasn't aware that it was like a selection area.
oh yeah, yes, very much so. So what we actually suggest is that once you join, we recommend that you consider taking on a what we call a HR volunteer, and then work with that
Okay.
HR volunteer who should take time to understand how we operate, and then work with
Yeah.
you to obviously you will know what talent you need over the next 12 months, and work with that
Yeah.
individual to translate them into what we call opportunities, list them, even manage your dashboard if you wish to, set up the interviews and do the whole thing. So you can be very selective who you want to be in your team. I mean, that's the only way. We do not tell you
Yeah.
these are the individuals you have to work with. No.
No, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
So I can actually start that process without my son even knowing, and just get on with it, and then actually surprise him. So I could get
Well,
some jobs done that, and then show him that they've been done.
okay, but I don't want to be part of any future family feuds, by the way.
No,
Yes.
it wouldn't get like that.
Yes, so I think you met Joe at on Wednesday as well. I don't know whether you guys chatted, but in essence, you're
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We did at the beginning. Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
you're building two family companies, so that's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm going to have another look at it for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, do consider also joining TechSerate, because what we are doing is that this year we have line up. So we have a session on Mondays. We're talking about building tech companies. I think Joe, you took part, right? Did you not?
On this, the last Monday that gone, I don't think I did actually, Manoj.
No. On one of the Mondays, did you not take part?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's that's, especially if you are building this for the first time, it's quite useful. And then you can all meet it.
No.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to join? I can see Sam in there as well. Maria, John, don't be shy. Even our team members, we can see Alfira and Saad and Akosua. Feel free to join and have a chat. If not, we'll continue our discussion. Chidima, do you want to talk about how we support customers, please? Chidima, you are muted.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. When a customer subscribe, we kind of help we kind of onboard the customer, and we introduce the customer to the various the various resources that would make it easier for him to have a smooth recruitment of volunteers, and we are always there standby to provide additional assistance, because you understand that some of them are very new to building teams and all that. So we are there to guide them all the way, provide them any necessary support, any necessary advice on how to run some processes. So with SkilledUp Life, even a newbie will not have a difficulty, because we are there to ensure that everything is done seamlessly for our customers. Thank you.
Yeah, we're trying to do a lot. So just on the customer side, the more you ask, the more help we can provide. But we do have customers who just subscribe to us, put up something, and never engage. Unfortunately, we try our best, but I think end of the day, we are dealing with people, and sometimes it's hard. But from our end, we have 10 people in our customer support team. We have an online chat service. It's manned. It's not a chatbot. There are people behind that, especially during the week. Sometimes I'm on it. Chidima and her team are on it, and obviously when Irene was in support team, she was there as well. So the more you ask, the more help we can give. And we also run a customer workshop every other Monday at 4 p.m. GMT. And what we're trying to do is not just us telling the best practices, but also getting other customers involved in and sharing what works and what didn't for them, so that every new customer we have, they have a lot more knowledge, lot more information available to decide how to proceed. So we want to really have our customers think about staying with us for a long time. We would like them to treat us more like a strategic partner, because as you grow, we can help you go global as well. So so there's a lot we can do. Does anybody else want to join? No? Okay. Are there any more questions from Joe and Felix?
What's going to be the first step for for us?
Okay, so if you are at the stage where you said you want to chat with the IP guy and all that, that's probably outside us, and I think you got the idea. Have you got as far as maybe some sketches about what the products looks like?
Yeah, more than that. So really quite a. So I could put together a specification document.
Okay.
But it would need to be disguised at this point. But because some of the design is the reason that I think it's got a strong value proposition. But as a platform, it should be really quite straightforward to get an MVP up.
Okay, so when you say you have gone quite far, so do you have things like UI design done already?
So we know what it should look like.
But have you done anything?
There is an initial. We've got an initial JavaScript framework, but it's not functional.
Okay. So let's say that. So it sounds like you have gone straight to coding without actually doing a proper design.
It depends what you mean by proper. So we decided what it should look like before we started coding.
Okay.
But given that we're not pros in establishing this kind of platform, then we didn't go through a professional level UI design, of course.
Okay.
So
yes.
In that sense, no, I guess we didn't.
Okay. So the point I was trying to get, Figma, for example, is one place where you could do the design. So if you then look at saying, do we have people who could do UI design? We got plenty. So you could decide to have that or not. I think in your case, because the next question is how are we going to architect that. I know you said you got some JavaScript. So I think the architects, if you can work with somebody like Amila wasn't there yesterday, so that was on Wednesday. But he's on TechServe side. I think you had a conversation, right, Joe?
With whom?
Amila, or not?
I don't think I did. No.
Okay, so I'm getting you mixed up with Craig, because Craig, you and also Felix sounds like you're all in the same stage, that early stage.
Right.
So I think so that's so you got to work it out. Then if you are saying, okay, I need a React developer or Node.js or whatever, then we have the individuals, but you need to find them. And then obviously we have a methodology that we recommend for recruitment. but you might want to add another layer. You might want to have some sort of a test that they need to go through to make sure that you pick the best ones.
Yeah.
So I think basically what you are doing in one essence is if you think about building a product team, which include the designers, coders, somebody to test properly. We have all those disciplines in. Then in terms of the mark, so then you could take a look at it and say, okay, while I'm developing the product, I'm also going to start building the brand because you're a marketeer.
Yeah.
Right? So you could start to build a little marketing team as well. Right? So if you then work it out, saying actually I need 10 people in these two teams, then it's worthwhile getting an HR volunteer and working with her or him to make the sourcing process smoother.
Okay.
Because our talent comes for 3 months period. Sometimes they stay longer, like Irene has been with us. She's going to do 2 terms with us. But 3 months means sometimes 3 months could go very fast. And then you need to find a successor after that. So the HR volunteer is not just about finding the talent, but finding the next bunch of talent and so forth.
Right.
And in the process, obviously, you've got to build processes, tools, and systems. And when you join us, we add you to our customer hub, and through there, we are sort of educating our customers what these are. And then during the workshops, we discuss them in more detail. And then Chidinma is there, and her team is there to answer any questions.
Okay, great.
Brilliant. So anyone else in the audience want to chat? Please raise your hand. I'm finding it quite strange with LinkedIn. When we first started, we used to get very large number of people. But I get quite a number of people coming back and say, oh, I only got alert now and I didn't know what it was. And so I think LinkedIn is still not sort of switch on properly to alert people saying there's an event taking place. Sam, do you want to come? Oh, John. Hi, Hi, John. Please introduce and tell us what you're doing and what you have in mind, please. John, you are muted. You need to unmute. John, you are muted. It's the bottom right. There's a microphone and a mute button. If you press that, it will unmute. Okay. You need to. I can't unmute you, so you have to do that yourself. Okay. In the meantime, Mithun, do you want to talk a bit more about what you are doing in terms of, especially partnerships, etc., please?
Okay, thank you, Manoj. So recently I wanted to look at partnerships because so I feel like we've kind of gained some insight on what we need to do on LinkedIn, because we were getting a lot of applicants from LinkedIn, and we started doing stuff on Indeed. So now I finally decided that it's time to spend more time with partnerships, because I have some functional teams that can work without me. So that is the biggest thing. I have assigned 2 admins that can work without me, so it's very totally functional. So I can just manage partnerships by myself now. So I'm thinking of building some partnership teams to look at the educational partners that we have. So right now we have several partners in Africa. So what we can do is we can encourage those students who finish their coding boot camps and data science boot camps, marketing, and all sorts of these boot camps and courses. Once they finish their degrees or courses, they can join SkilledUp Life and they can start building experience. So right now it's not an active like promotion that's going on. It's very students can join us, but we don't actively do any events or presentations. So what I want to do is really build a team that can hit that operation and do some presentations to those students and bring them on board and really introduce them to what SkilledUp Life does. In addition to that, I also want to build a team for South Asia. So that's one of the big, huge markets that we haven't explored yet. So I want to build some, teams that can really bring some talent from India. So there's lots of coders and lots of programmers from India who can bring a lot of value to the tech startups at SkilledUp Life.
Yeah, thank you, Mithun.
So, yeah, those are some.
Yeah. So I think Felix, your business is you said that you want to make it easy to sell pets online, right? Felix, I can't hear you. Oh, you lost your voice as well. Okay. I think LinkedIn still got bugs. Okay, we can't hear you, Felix.
Well, maybe we can advise them leaving and coming back, Manoj.
Yeah, Felix, if you go out and come back, it might work. John has left as well because he couldn't unmute, it seems. I think LinkedIn still got bugs. I mean, it's quite crazy when you think about it. Such a large company, why can't you get something simple working? But tech is sometimes harder.
Maybe they need to join SkilledUp Life and get some coders to fix it.
No, we do have our own bugs as well. Hi, Felix. Oh, there you go. Does it work?
Yeah, hear
Okay.
me now, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, what was the question?
So I think if I understood, your business is you are allowing pets to be easily sold online, right? Sold and bought.
Yeah, so what we've realised is that the current platforms online they don't verify buyers or sellers or sort of have the credibility of a breeder or the welfare of the dogs. So we've created a site where it's mandatory to have a bank level ID clearance. We're making the breeders accountable by verifying their licenses, and we're working with labs. And my son's creating some software that's going to work with labs and vets, so the health results will come directly to the dog's profile.
Okay, so in your model, business model, there are no sort of partners, right? You work directly with breeders then.
We're going to be working with the general customers who want to buy a dog.
Yeah.
We're working with breeders, and we're also working with rescues. We're offering our site free to any rescue company, and we'll give a percentage of our profits back to rescues.
Okay.
Just in the middle of discussing a partnership with Agria Insurance and a vet.
Yeah.
And we're cutting out.
Yeah, so I was just trying to see whether there's we are trying to build partnerships. We already have some partnerships, so it's possible that, in months to come, you could also build a little partnership team using our talent.
I don't see why not. I mean, I'm just going to go on today and sign up and get involved with HR.
Okay. Yeah, so, and I think, so does that mean that suddenly if you don't like your dog, can you actually sell it through your site? Or?
Yeah, you can do.
Okay.
Because too many dogs are going into rescues. We're trying to just put best practices involved.
Right. I mean, especially like is it Christmas time? People buy pets, and then
then we get a lot of people selling them at Christmas.
Yeah, then in January find out they don't really want the pet.
Yeah, we're putting quite a lot of strategies in place. So we've got quite a few questionnaires that people have to undertake.
Right.
To find out if they're suitable to have a dog, if they're choosing the right breed of dog.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and help them navigate the system.
Okay. So what made you get into this business? Are you sort of in the trade or?
So, yeah, I'm actually a dog breeder in a whelping hand, which means I'm a midwife for dogs.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it was a friend of mine. She had 2 people go to view her puppies, and the people that turned up had balaclavas on and machetes.
Oh dear!
They stole all the puppies and the mum and threatened her kids. And it was then I realised I had to do something. Somebody has to put a stop to it somehow.
Oh, sorry to hear that. That must have been terrible. Yes.
Well, but it's not uncommon. You know, the amount of scams last year were up 39% in the dog industry. It's frightening.
Right. Yeah.
When you look at the true statistics, it's an area that is just plagued with fraud.
Yeah. So this is a business that could operate in many countries, right? Not just unique to UK.
Yeah. We're looking. So on Monday, we're looking at doing our business model for Europe, and we've been asked to do the potential for the US. So even though we're not planning on that yet, we've been asked to do it for our pitch deck.
Wow. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So thank you. So we got about 9 minutes. I think we're running out of audience, but Sam, if you want to join us, feel free. Always good to chat with you as well, Maria, Iabode, and Alfira as well. Feel free to join us. I know some of you are in our team. Our team has grown to about 100 people, so I hardly know them now. In the good old days, I used to know everybody, but it's becoming harder. Irene, so do you sort of have some further discussion, because you're sort of coming to the end of the second term and you're looking at going freelancing, traveling around the world with taking the experience and monetizing it?
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm looking to get into more HRVA type work. I've been approached by quite a few people, but yeah, I'm looking to get started. It's new, it's fresh, and yes, I'm looking to travel as well.
Yeah, sounds good, isn't it? And you are young as well, so sorry, I'm about twice your age now, so yeah. So Chidima, anything else you want to add? Felix, by the way, when you go to sign up, please use a computer, and when you click on register, there's a pop-up that comes. On the top of the pop-ups, you have to select between volunteer and company. Please select the company. Quite a number of people do the wrong thing here. Joe, if you're going to register as...
Yeah, I'll have to have a look. I'll have a look at that, because I did that quite a while ago, but I've not been back onto it, so I'll see what I've done.
Okay. All right. So, any more questions? We got about 7 minutes left. No? Okay. So, for us, going forward, we will continue to build this country regional teams, and I think what we have done is also create layers, structures. We operate pretty much almost like a matrix structure. So if you take a country team, we might have a country leader that's focusing on, how can we penetrate this, go deep into the country. And then obviously a typical country team will have about 5 people in it. And then each one of them will report to another, because they have function, so they have a functional head. So there's a lot to do in terms of making this work, because we see ourselves probably getting to about 1,000 people, and I have no idea how we will manage it. We also came up with certain things that seem to work very well for us. We have what's called a daily reporting culture. We use Slack. We have a dedicated channel on Slack for daily updates. So everyone in our team, there are no exceptions, including myself, have to say end of the day what we did that day. It might be a couple of lines, and everybody's doing this. And that way we have a good understanding of our own progression. And now we are getting into a stage where we are actually looking at these updates, and we can intervene and suggest ways forward if somebody's not getting the results. So we have very much a very open culture. People can suggest things. And if people are struggling, we might move them from one team to another. I think we've only done that once. So I think it's quite important you think about the culture you are building. We didn't start by writing down the vision and all these different statements. We actually start just doing it, and then the culture just emerge as part of that. But it is very open, it is very transparent. We don't hide anything. Anyone can say how they feel, come up with suggestions. So that has actually helped us going forward. And I think, some of our talent going on to do greater things. One person has joined Capgemini, I think, in UK. Another person who never had any HR experience or training got a HR job. One of our previous head of HR is now running, I think, as HR director of 5 subsidiaries of a larger company. So, people go and do great things after getting experience from us. And some of them keep coming back because what we are trying to do is we're trying to build what I call a life companion product. Every time you want to get some new experience, you can come to us and, do a volunteer term. So we see this as evolving, and we don't have all the answers, but it's 100 people, so 100 people coming together now and sharing and improving and trying to help other companies and individuals. That's what we're here for. So we're coming to an end, and I don't think we'll have any more questions, so we'll wrap it up. And thank you so much for taking part. We run this every Friday. Take care and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Manoj.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Manoj.
Bye.
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 Thank you, Manoj.